What's up, guys?
What's up?
Hello.
It's three parts of the Nixons. We're going to have a little residential briefing, an awkward video conversation. Where's Jesse at?
Jesse, what's the thing is about Jesse is that it's sort of like one of those superhero special agent things. We can't tell you. I mean, he kind of goes dark sometimes, and we don't know. No one knows.
He's MIA. Ricky, are you in your bunker in Utah?
Yeah.
And Zach, you're in Nashville?
I'm in Nashville.
John, you're in Edmond.
I am.
We all are gathered together today to have a moment to talk some Nixon stuff, an update on what's going on with the band. And Zach, you want to take the lead on this?
Yeah, man. I mean, I got to tell you, we were planning on releasing music, new and old. I'll tell you what that means in a second. But it's kind of weird how all this quarantine thing happened. It sort of ramped things up for us in a weird way, because we've done a couple of those 4-box, like we played Wire, we played Happy Song, and Ricky's brother Andy edited it together nice and tight. And now we've got like some titles that were never available. Halo was never streaming. It is now. Scrapbook, it is now. Latest Thing is streaming now. And then new music coming May 22nd, the new EP. So, yeah, I mean, a lot's going on, man. It's kind of crazy. It's probably the most activity this band's had, and yet we're nowhere near each other.
All right, well, let's do it. Let's do some Crutch. How'd that sound? Sound great?
Sounded good, man. Fun to listen to it. Awesome. John did a little drum fill. Ricky, talk a little bit about the beginnings of that one, because that was kind of one of Ricky's babies. The way this worked, Jake, was, we reunited. We talked to you probably right around the time we did this, and you might have been the first person we talked to as a reunited thing in 2017. And after those first shows, I went and started a song idea, sent it to the guys, and we recorded it, and it was cool. But then for this, we wanted to do an EP that was sort of had some cohesiveness to it. And so it was really cool as hell for me, because really all of us started just sharing ideas. Ricky sent a couple guitar riffs that were immediately like, oh, that's cool as hell. I loaded them into a Pro Tools session. Jesse sent me some ideas, and I sent some ideas to the guys. Then we'd get like a recording of John playing a drum, a drum part that he put together for a song, and we'd go back and forth and say, yeah, no, yes, this. Ricky shot down a couple lyric ideas right away. But talk, Ricky, but I don't know that I've ever really heard. Was it just like you just sat down one day and that kind of initial opening riff kind of came to you, or?
Yeah, the main riff, the verses, the pre-chorus, and all that, it all came in about 20 minutes, and then I left it alone for about 3 months.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, and then
before I showed it to the band.
Yeah, and the cool thing for me was, there's another song that we will not play because we want everyone to get it on when it comes out officially on May the 22nd. But there's a song that he sent me called Letters. Tentatively we called it Letters from the Outside World. And it's interesting because, my job is actually as a songwriter, right? That's what I do. Jake, that we've talked about it. I walk into a room on any given day and I write with two other dudes like me, or an artist if I'm lucky. And I hadn't done what we did as a band. We were all in like a crappy space in Norman, Oklahoma in 20 years. And so it was really fun for me to just lock the door and not worry about, well, would Carrie Underwood say this, or, I could say whatever, So with Letters, for instance, I think that might have been the first lyric one that I put together with Ricky. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was Crutch, but that was super fun for me because I almost lyrically, Letters was almost a stream of consciousness. Like Ricky said, some of the best things he wrote that, came up with the initial, sort of thing in 20 minutes. Letters, dude, I don't know if I've ever told Ricky, you or John, but I loaded that into my Pro Tools and I sang that whole thing almost in one setting. I was typing notes into my phone as fast as I could because I had this kind of idea. Then we did go back and sort of retool it and get under the hood and mess around with it. But that's great. I hadn't really heard that, Ricky, how that initial idea came. But and I love that song. Crutch is just, it's a burner live.
Yeah, it's got a cool riff, and it's really hard to explain to people, what that impetus of where songs come from, because I can think about the times when I was messing around and writing songs with the Raunchy Cats that I came up with stuff and I was like, I don't know where this came from, but it sounds really freaking cool. And then you start messing around with recording it, and then it just builds into something that you're like, holy shit. I mean, that's actually pretty cool. But you don't know how it happens. It just happens. It's just that maybe that gift inside you. And I think a lot of people, a lot of bands do have that. And you guys tapped into it, man.
Yeah, it was awesome. Ricky initially obviously had this idea for this song, but he was just busting with ideas. So Letters and another song people hear eventually called Heaven were all ideas initially from Ricky. So he was just sitting through music. He was doing kind of drum machine stuff or drum ideas. And Crutch, which you just heard, the bridge section of that build up, that kind of crazy pattern was initially the drum pattern for the entire song. So it went through some different arrangements and changes. And then we all got in a room together, went through the 5 songs that ultimately ended up on this EP, just kind of hammering out arrangements. And I remember Ricky was just like, let's just burn through this straight ahead, man. Just keep it straight ahead. We'll kind of mix it up for the bridge, but let's get it going straight ahead. But so I have to kudos to Ricky for a lot of great ideas initially for some of the songs on this EP.
That's cool that you guys are kind of in a groove now, because what was it? The last record, was it on Coke Records?
Koch Records, yeah.
How long was it from that last album and the time you guys started writing again together, it's been what, 20 years?
Yeah, I mean, with Ricky, you know, at least 20 years, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Almost 17.
So to put it in perspective, you could have had a baby and the baby would have graduated high school in that period of time. That's a long time.
Actually, we did.
Yeah,
We all did.
we don't have to put it into perspective. I have a sophomore in college and a high school senior right now in this house, by the way, driving me insane. But no, we did, and we went and sort of lived these different lives. I mean, Ricky, he's as we said, he's up in the mountains with you know, not great internet, but I mean, you should hear some of his stories of some of the things he did. He, you know, I think he rode a motorcycle to the tips of a couple different continents. And so, I mean, it's interesting because when we did come back together, it was, you know, in some ways it was, as I said, liberating for me as a songwriter, but also just fun as hell. The very first rehearsal we had when we did reunite, you know, the first song we played was Head. You know, there was that downbeat to Head. We were on that low E. And I remember thinking, oh, damn, this is the same. This is just the same, you know. I mean, we keep up the rust, but I mean, and in terms of writing, like John said, Ricky just blitzed us with musical ideas. Then Jesse sent us what was just the single that has just sort of run its course called Favorite Lies. And then I actually kind of had an idea for Ghost of an Angel, and then the guys sort of tore into it. But it was much like that first note at that first rehearsal in Oklahoma City. Writing with these guys, for me at least, was like, oh yeah, I remember how cool this is and how hard it can be, but how sometimes easy it can be and smooth. And you know, about Ricky, you and John can weigh in on this, and Jake, I'd even love to know your opinion, but the overriding response I get about like Crutch, and we played Ghost of an Angel live a bunch, and people would just come up to me and be like, that sounds like just like the Nixons. It's just a different decade. It's a different century, you know, but it sounds like you guys. And so I'm super proud of the stuff and what we were able to sort of catch, little lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, that's really cool. And now people sound like you guys now, I guess, with Brent of Shinedown's doing Atlas Falls, and what other irons in the fire are inspired by you, Zach? On the charts, eh?
Well, I'm really excited about that one. That's a random
it's charting, dude. It's charting.
I know, dude. Here's the funny thing about that, Jake, is that I wrote that song 8 years ago, okay? And it didn't make that album. Amaryllis, I think was the name of the album. Didn't make that album. And then out of the blue, dude, I get a text from Shinedown's A&R guy and Brent saying, can we talk? You know, that's usually not great, but right. You know, what the hell, you know, did I accidentally rip a song that I'd written with Brent before? That's what I usually get scared. Oh shit. Yeah. Have they heard something I've done that they think right. But they said, hey, we want to release this song as a sort of a COVID, you know, all the money. When you download a t-shirt, you get the song, and it's raised over $100,000 for Direct Relief, which is a great. It's also Ricky keeps going black. But Atlas Falls is, yeah, you're right. It's in the 20s now on the rock chart, and it wasn't even meant to be anything. I mean, it was written 8 years ago, didn't make that album, but Brent really, to his credit, he remembered that lyric and that maybe that could help some people out, inspire some people. So yeah, I'm proud of
it. With it. Yeah, that's really cool. Super cool.
Thanks, man.
And you're welcome. John, you've got some Seether stuff coming too, don't you?
Yeah. We finished an album in January. So, yeah, we were just on the eve of everything kind of ramping up again. So we're sort of right? Like everybody else. So we'll see kind of what the plan will be. But yeah, man, I was pretty much home last year. We had a handful of dates and one-offs, but then Sean sent me a bunch of music and went in January and tracked that thing and slammed it out, man. I'm real excited about it, but it's done. It's in the can.
What is y'all's plan, John? What are you going to do? I'm just curious. What's the Seether camp saying? Are y'all just kind of playing it by ear right now?
Yeah, details are kind of being ironed out. Anything could happen. Possibly the album, maybe singles this year. Maybe everything waits till next year. Not too sure. Nothing's really been definitively decided.
What I'm hearing is a lot of the promoters are really concerned, and management too. They're really concerned that even though they could announce a show or a festival, that people aren't going to show up. So
Right.
even if they were, cities were given the green light to have mass gatherings to some degree, they're worried that people are going to be scared. So.
Yeah, they're running polls. See, there's management was like showing us stats from polls that they have taken, and when people attend shows and or sporting events, and 61% overwhelmingly said they wouldn't even dare it until there's a vaccine. So I don't know what it means really for this year.
That's shocking. Well, there was an article I saw online that some venture capitalists are trying to come up with a spacesuit that you can wear to concerts. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I laughed. I was like, wow. Can you imagine?
That'd be a trip.
I know, but what are your options, to do the live thing at home and pay to see a performance? Would you guys play a show on an empty, or, on a stage to an empty arena and charge people for it?
A lot of bands are doing it for free. I've done some really good ones. I've seen that are anywhere from really great to just really, but a lot of them are just doing it for free because, man, there's so many bands that have tours booked that they're just gone now, and so these guys are just sitting around doing nothing. King Buffalo has a really great one. There's man, it sounds just like the record, but it was free. So I don't know if people will really want to pay for. Maybe Green Day could get away with it. I don't know.
Yeah, but Jake, to answer your question, we have actually talked to. I don't know if it's going to happen, so I won't even say where or what it is. But we've talked to a couple different venues about, will you come and play a show for us, and we'll stream it. We'll live stream it. And the short answer to that is I'm in, man. I would do it in a heartbeat. The longer answer just gets to be like, how do you do it? What are the logistics of it? Do you say, this is a dumb thing for me to say, but the first thing I thought was every time I meet up with the guys back in Oklahoma City and we pack up to go, do a little run, we always hug, right? So I guess that's out, right? We're just all going to just wave and bow. And it's just, and that's a stupid thing to think of, but it's just everything has changed. I don't even know do we rock out, and do I not bump into Ricky somehow? Do I avoid Ricky on stage? That's going to be tough, kind of. All over the place.
No bowing at the end.
Right.
Arms around each other, taking a bow for the crowd.
Yeah.
Well, just like anything.
I will say, being a fan of music, I personally would pay. I guess if it were fair or reasonable, I would pay to watch one of my favorite artists perform. I think it's cool. A lot of artists are doing it for free, but I understand there's a lot of artists suffering and, have to put food on the table too. So for my part, I would probably pay to watch a band perform.
Yeah. Initially out of the gate, it seemed like everybody was doing the free show from home and from whatever festival kind of gathering thing to, raise money. Which makes sense, But eventually, you can't play for free forever. So we have to adapt and get to the point that figure out something that works for everybody,
Right, exactly.
The other thing that I'll say is that, like Jake, that it's been really interesting because we are all holed up and we all get online and we kind of look to see, did that video we post, how many people saw it, and John can attest to this, but it's, we have access to basically to see who's listening to our music. And so in part because we've been releasing a lot of music that wasn't available before. It's all out there on Apple or it's on Spotify, whatever. It's all out there. And it's been kind of insane. And I was talking to someone that's involved with the release that's coming up. And I was like, man, our streaming numbers are just going up and up and up. And again, he goes, well, it's partly because you've got this music that's out that wasn't out. You're going to have new music. That actually went to pre-order yesterday. So by the way, the new EP comes out May 22nd. It's called Sonic Boom, and you can order it right now on Apple. I clicked on the link today, and it's active. But what I was going to say is that, like, he told me the other thing is that streaming and watching videos and everyone's YouTube, everyone is just going up for obvious reasons, because we're all here. Like, I click on everything.
I know, right?
I like to watch John Minsky's little from home show and like was crying in front of my laptop. So I mean, it's awesome for us because, again, I mean, I'm bummed. We had dates in Arkansas booked. We have dates booked right now for the summer that I'm guessing will go away, but it was fun. I mean, John sent a video of him playing drums on Wire and Happy Song, and we all put in our headphones. And I mean, I literally was like, Jen, my wife was filming me. Ben was over here getting ready to turn the amp down a little bit in one part because it started to drown my voice out. And I literally stuck the headphones in, told Jen, okay, go. And I would hit play on my phone, stick it in my back pocket, and hear John go, Happy Song. I mean, it's been super cool in a weird way because, I mean, Jake, you mentioned it, but guys, I mean, you're watching the comments on all the social medias. Like, that first thing we posted, Wire, like, I think we got 100 comments that were things like, oh my God, I needed this right now.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is. And that's pretty cool. I mean, so yeah, we're still going to be efforting to try to figure out how to maybe do something live, maybe do a show, maybe all meet in a venue and whatever, wear plastic suits and play, but yeah, but again, the new music's coming, and I'm super excited that that's coming. It is, as you mentioned, it's our first stuff we've collaborated on 20 years. So it's
been a long time. John, yeah. Did you, the album's called Sonic Boom, right? Did you run that by Gene and Paul?
I told the guys, there was an album about 10 years, and everyone figured, well, if it were maybe Destroyer, maybe the comparisons, but I know I'm going to get ribbed by all my fellow Kiss fan friends.
Love Gun.
Yeah, right. The Nixons Love Gun. That would have been a little suspect. But I think Sonic Boom. I think Sonic Boom's okay.
Okay, Jay, so I've got it queued up here. Ghost of an Angel. Is that what we want, or Favorite Lies? I'm gonna let you fellas pick. We'll do another song.
Do Ghost of an Angel. And by the way, for people watching and listening, this is the first time Jake Daniels
ever.
Come here.
Hear her voice, whispering, it's alright. Tell myself it's not. Go to sleep, it's midnight. But my mind only climbs another wall. 'Cause the ghost of an angel is walking down these halls. She was here, I promise it's not the wine. So clear, telling me she'll always be mine. And my heart's the only thing that hears her call. As the ghost of an angel is walking down these halls. Whispering goodbye makes the final choice. Just close my eyes, I'll dream of her tonight. As the ghost of an angel walks into the light. Walks into the light. Walks into the
And back.
That was awesome. Thank you, man. That was fun to listen back. Again, I haven't listened back to these things in a while, so that was cool. So
I know, our first residential briefing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jake. I mean, I just want to say again, just sitting here listening to that, again, it's going to have a rollout and it's going to get released, and along with the EP, and I was just reminded that that's the first time that song was played, and you guys were the first that ever played us. It's like a long, long time ago. So thank you, man, I think officially it was Zubek, I think, was the person that actually
I
played.
think it was Zubek and Baker, yeah.
But I can't tell you enough how much I wanted to do. We wanted to do something to sort of get the word out. Hey, we got this new music coming. I should also say that we have new versions of Sister, Wire, and Baton Rouge that are available. New recordings of those songs that are available everywhere also. So we have old new music and new music coming. And again, I reached out to you. I'm so glad that you reached back out and suggested we do one of these Foursquare things, because I was just saying, hey, can we talk to you about our new release? But this is cool, and it's fun to sort of go back and sort of relive, putting the band back together, but then putting together a new EP. So thank you, Jake, for everything.
So thank you, guys. And I know we've kind of touched on the subject before, but John, for Record Store Day, I know they moved it to June, and it's probably too late for June, but maybe in November later this year, maybe do a limited run of the Red album, the MCA one. Do you guys have on the masters on that? Is that something you can do, or you have to hire an attorney and try to get that done, or re-record it?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So really, Jake, the answer is, and I won't get too into the business weeds of it, but I spoke with people at the parent company of our old record label, and they went back through our contract and said, I was like, can I have those back? And they just kind of laughed, like literally kind of laughed.
Wow.
And so, but what my attorney established, and I have a bunch of friends in bands that have done this. Ed from Collective Soul mentioned it to me years ago, and Kevin from Better Than Ezra. They're like, dude, why the hell haven't you re-recorded your songs? I mean, because Jake, the story I tell people is that I got a call a few years ago from making an independent film, and they're like, we want to use Sister in it, and it'll pay a decent amount of money. Mm-hmm. And I said, hell yeah, do it, but you have to contact Universal. I hear back from the producer a year later, and they never even heard back from that parent company. I think I slipped and said it. But we, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back, and it was cool to re-record Sister is the obvious one, because, it's got millions of streams all across all the platforms, and we want to own it, and we want to be able to say, yeah, put it in your independent film or whatever. And so, we're going to do more of that. But meanwhile, for Record Day, we probably will do something, Jake. We probably will. Sonic Boom is not just going to be available digitally. It's going to be available other ways. So just stay tuned for that. And then the other thing is that we do have access to some of our old titles, and we did put out Halo on vinyl. It's available, on our merch, on our website. So yeah, man, it's all out there, and even more is coming. So it's exciting for us.
Awesome. Well, as always, I appreciate you guys, and it's always good to see you.